Hello everybody, welcome to the Summer Championships. Absolutely. This is the first video from this tournament going up on my YouTube channel, though there has been quite a lot of coverage for this event already available on other YouTube channels, some of which does include me in the commentary. More info on that to come in another video quite soon. But yes, this match was really fun, and we're really lucky it actually took place, to be honest. Kynesie, of course, a very good player and very well known for his water playstyle, and it is not often, I will say, that you get to see a full-on ocean battle in AoE 3. But before we begin, I would just like to let everybody know that I did say that we were lucky that this game actually took place, and that is because it was the second attempt at it. In the first one, about 8 minutes in, Kynesie dropped his connection, and Anxiety could have taken an admin win, but he refusely denied to do so, and the game was actually replayed. So, really positive sportsmanship there from GiveUAnxiety. Lots of respect to that, because Kynesie, is a very strong opponent and has a playstyle that is very difficult to sort of deal with, especially if you're used to sort of the current meta. So yes, you can watch attempt number 1 if you like, using the link in the description below, since during the first sort of 3 or 4 minutes of this game we do make references to that game. It's not essential to watch it, so you really don't have to. But yes, without further ado, here is the game that took place. Enjoy the video. Alright, so our players are ready once again, clicking into game number 1, attempt number 2 in this best of 5 series between GiveUAnxiety and Kynesie for the round of 32. I don't know if I've said that for the second time in a row now. I have a problem with repeating my intros like 1.5 times. But clicking on Manchuria, and we'll see what the crate spawns are this time around. But the same matchup as before, this time GiveUAnxiety spawning in the north of the map. They have swapped positions by the looks of it. Here we have
the old switcheroo.
The switcheroo. Same crate spawn though.
Yep.
Maybe an extra food crate on top of it, but effectively the wooden coin is the same. So perhaps there's similar things here though. We'll have to see if they can pull out some nice big chunky wood treasures. I think both players were going to be fairly happy with the early game of the previous attempt due to the big wood treasures that they found. Both players managed to get themselves a nice advantage. Of course, GiveUAnxiety getting all his villagers back on food a bit sooner, and his opponent Kynesie getting a trading post. We'll see what happens this game. I don't think there are any wood. Oh, having said that though, GiveUAnxiety going for the 85 wood, or at least is going to walk past it. Going to be pretty happy about. Looks like a fairly sort of repeat version of what happened though. I'm not sure if Kynesie is going to be quite so lucky this game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure whether or not he'll go with that trading post again as well.
There is a
looks like he's already
treasure here if he comes to find it, but
but that's all the way on the other side.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going in that direction at all.
Yeah, and he's already built his house as well, so it looks like he's opted to not go with the trading post this go around, and has instead just elected to go with the more traditional, just probably like 13 pop village up.
Yeah. It's likely. So I guess we're gonna see the same as before, aside from the trading post.
Yeah, aside from the trading post, GiveUAnxiety throwing down a market. Likely gonna pick up hunting dogs. Yeah, we've just got his hunting dogs researching, so everything looking good for him. And I think we can assume that we'll see a similar deck and a similar build and a similar style out of GiveUAnxiety, just because. He kind of gave away his build in that first game. Although, to be fair, like Kynesie, because he was the one who dropped, it's not like he saw the map at the end of the game as well, right? So he doesn't necessarily know that there was a forward stable and the forward tower and stuff like that. Like, obviously he knows GiveUAnxiety sent 2 caravels, but he doesn't, maybe he didn't see his deck or anything like that as well. So it's hard to know what knowledge Kynesie had of the previous game going into this next one. So we'll have to see whether or not that plays a factor as well. But for the time being, everything looking fairly standard. 3 vills going to come out of GiveUAnxiety completely normal, and I think we'll see schooners again from Kynesie. I think we can expect to see him play that water style again.
We can. I would think so too. But here, a little bit of early conflict between the players. Explorers of the blue on only 135 HP compared to his opponent with about 100 HP more, 283. Well, more than 100 more, actually. Now got him in hand combat. He could have avoided that. Oh dear, but you know, fortunate. Oh, actually, he's nowhere near his town center. He's near his opponent's one. This is not too good. Looks like Kynesie going to take this guy down, William Cabot, and then head back on over to that 90 wood treasure. So, GiveUAnxiety going to be lacking the scouting information as a direct result of losing his explorer. Could be awkward if he doesn't know what his opponent's doing. Plus, not to mention that Kynesie going to have an extra 45 XP from killing this guy.
Yeah, unfortunately for GiveUAnxiety, he knows exactly what his opponent's doing. he knows his opponent is going to go on water. He knows. His
you still need to scout that dock. Can you really? I mean, like Kynesie definitely is likely to go for the dock, but you're gonna be like, oh, I really need to know, right?
Or
are you so confident?
You can say that, but I like Kynesie is almost like one-dimensional in the fact that like he always plays this turtley style. Like there's people who do like weird stuff, and then there's people who do like predictably weird stuff, and he's like he falls underneath the category of like predictably weird. Like his style is very like anti-meta, but at the same time for him it's like the complete norm. And like I would be more surprised of him not having a dock on a water map than him like.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's something he does almost every game. And again, there's that wall again coming right up, building it across the map. It's such an expensive wall. Holy crap!
Yeah, and that's just like you don't see that out of like anybody but him. And look at the town center place.
Yeah, I thought maybe that would go coastal, but actually, it's in exactly the same spot. Looks like, the extra information he's gotten from seeing the two caravels too soon from GiveUAnxiety in the previous game has not changed his decision on the town center placement at all.
No. In fact, everything is like basically mirrored.
Yeah, he's even got the trading post again. Like he's just doing exactly what he did last game.
Yeah, and GiveUAnxiety similarly has the forward stable coming down. We see the outpost wagon working its way across to the middle of the map as well. Kynesie dropping down this forward dock in this exact same location. Like, everything is literally mirrored. Kynesie 700 wood is the second card. Let's see whether or not GiveUAnxiety like sends the very early two caravels once again.
Yeah. I think he's going to. Look, that thing has moved. Yeah, he's already got his home city water flag in position. I imagine we'll see two caravels any second now, of course. GiveUAnxiety. Sorry, Kynesie's shipment was. Yep, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, you can usually expect each player's shipments to arrive at about the same time, and he's already taken out one fishing ship, and maybe he's going to get the second. That thing hasn't been told to go inside the town center or the dock just yet. Two fishing ships down. This is definitely very relevant at the moment.
Yeah, and Kynesie didn't notice it right away as well, which is a little bit of a mistake, and that gave GiveUAnxiety some huge value out of those two caravels. Got a lot of boat kills there really early on, and see if he can snowball that into even more advantage on the water.
Yeah. Cav again now have arrived. We have 4 cavalry on the board, and once again, they literally do not have an entrance to his opponent. They physically cannot. They physically cannot raid his opponent. GiveUAnxiety, as I mentioned in the previous game, is as a result of making Cav, I guess, or at least threatening Cav, or there's this giant wall. It's not like Kynesie had to spend a lot of wood on that.
Yeah, that's true. And some villager seconds. But the one main difference that I'm seeing right now is that GiveUAnxiety's got a dock up much earlier than he did last game.
Looks like 2 caravels has arrived instead of the shipment he sent previously. And it looks like here now Kynesie has the advantage here with the extra caravels. This is the one deviation, and it looks very favourable. Though we do see offshore support, which I'm not sure what's better, a caravel or the extra support. Obviously, this arrives a little bit late. If it had arrived seconds sooner, it would have been much better in this fight. I think we're going to see a caravel pop out if he's stalling for time. Yeah, he's got one in queue. We're going to see the extra caravel.
But I don't know that it's going to matter. Yeah, there's still 2 full HP caravels.
Oh, it needs to already be here. That's the problem. Looks like he's going to put down an outpost as well. Maybe he can sneak in some damage, but Kynesie on the ball identifies that there is, a boat there. He's not going to take any shots for free. Looks like he's stalling, going to run this boat away as far as he can, although taking some damage from the docks, unfortunately. He wants to get this tower up before he commits to a fight and hopefully keep this Vel alive.
Yeah, and he certainly needs to. Unfortunately for GiveUAnxiety, I don't really like this outpost placement here. Imagine if that outpost would have been like trained somewhere over here along the coast. I mean, we have to assume he was planning on sending offshore support at some point anyways.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the free outpost that he got is just really not in a position where it's going to actually have any influence over the water whatsoever. Which is
Look at the
unfortunate for him.
re-walling.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I guess he's forced his opponent to re-wall, but that's got to be frustrating once you get through.
Yeah.
But yeah, that outpost certainly could be more coastal, but maybe it's there for a reason. Obviously, it shows him this area of the map, but his opponent isn't going to be there for a while. He's got lots of hunt behind this big shell of his coastal town center. Sorry, coastal outpost. Definitely could be good.
And in the meantime, GiveUAnxiety. Did you see that? The mast just fell off that ship.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, wow.
There goes the masts are the first thing.
I don't know how they're
Things
still
get
moving.
filing.
They don't have to take much damage for that to trigger either. That's kind of funny. But this, actually, the 108 damage that these caravels do as a direct result of sending these 2 extra upgrades is absolutely huge. You'd think, a 25% upgrade to just 2 units is terrible, but this is so strong. These caravels, they're doing so much. Having said that, though, improved warships does arrive for Kynesie. What do you think of this boat micro?
Yeah, they're both desperately trying to keep their boats as alive as possible. There's even a third warship for GiveUAnxiety out here. Like, he is just 100% committing to trying to.
Is he gonna bring it down? If he gets that down, there's no way it can be healed. But he's got 3 docks. Does Kynesie? If that stays up, he can heal that up to full. It looks like he's gonna get away for now. He needs to pursue that. It's very, very important to keep that alive. It's next to a dock. It is now healing now. This boat, obviously now GiveUAnxiety's boat going to take mass damage from this dock with lots of villagers inside. And it looks like, Kynesie going to do the boat micro trick, going to run that boat around the caravel so the caravel cannot get a clean shot. Going to constantly make it, constantly try and retask. And as a result of that, keeps his boat alive and takes out GiveUAnxiety's caravel. Wow, what? Oh, chat's
down.
That was some that was sick boat micro. You don't ever see that in AoE 3.
And during all of that, Kynesie was aging as well. So he's just hit the Fortress Age. He's going to have a town center up over here along the coast. And I don't know, things are just looking not so good for GiveUAnxiety. Like, all of a sudden he goes from, he's committed so many cards on water. His past 3 cards have been 2 caravels, offshore support, and improved warships. Yeah. And during all that, he's not been able to really stop the economic gathering from Kynesie on the water. He's really not gotten that much of an advantage, and he's just sunk so much in investment into the water here and really hasn't gained anything.
I cannot believe that what just happened. That boat was 1 shot away from dying. He just took it back to that dock, span it around, and oh wow. And now, as a result of that, as you're saying, all these cards invested on water. It's, look at that villager lead for Kynesie and GiveUAnxiety really trying to take the water and not achieving it. It's
and we have to assume a frigate is going to be coming or something like that next for Kynesie as well, which is really going to turn the tides of the water once again in his favor. And we can see with where his flag is, if that frigate comes.
Oh dear, this is going to just annihilate one of these boats right away. Just going to take it out of the game due to that special attack here. Oh dear.
Yeah, it is so many hit points. Plus, it's being buffed up by the improved warships card as well. Kynesie just showing how efficient he is on water and how good he plays on water. Eliminating one of the caravels, both of the other caravels, very low HP. Now the frigate running away the best that it can, trying to stay at high HP.
Oh, he takes the frigate down. Oh, nicely done. Unfortunately, Kynesie not going to be able to repair that. You really do not want to, part of microing boats is keeping them alive, because you can repair them just next to the dock passively. And no more frigate. Definitely good for Anxiety here, but still Kynesie plowing ahead with 54 settler or economic population compared to GiveUAnxiety's 38.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? Like, Give You Anxiety is fighting hard on water, and it feels like he's going about even on water, but behind all this, like, Kynesie is getting water economy. He's like training villagers out of 3 town centers. He's got this wall up, so he's completely immune to raids. He's gathering coin, like getting market upgrades, establishing a barracks. Like he's doing all these other things. And so, like Give You Anxiety is like kind of going about even on water. Kynesie's like improving his position just repeatedly, and it just feels like the longer this situation goes, where Give You Anxiety keeps investing on water and is not able to completely shut it down. Like he needs to turn off the switch for Kynesie's water, and that's not happening, and that makes me a little bit nervous as to how much this investment is truly worth it.
Yeah, but at this point, he has to.
He's committed.
He's fully committed. 2 shipments in, 4 caravels. The presence is real on the water. I don't actually think Kynesie is in a position to push this back right now without spending significant quantities of resources on perhaps another frigate. And
Caravel, get out of there!
Yeah, no, oh, that's so bad. You need to keep them alive, but pushing his opponent back unfortunately does lose another caravel. But this game, I don't know. The scores are still fairly even. I think Kynesie he's run out of fish. He's running out of. I don't know. He's got plenty.
He's getting pushed back a little bit at the very least, and I mean we can see a lot of those boats were idle. He's building a 3rd dock back home. The good news for him is he does have this town center hub right up along the coastline as well, so he is going to be able to, at the very least, protect those very close pods of tuna right next to the town center.
At least a large quantity of Kynesie's economy is now nullified, is idle in these 2 docks. So this commitment to water is reasonably good at the moment. Is sort of paying. Maybe he is able to shut down the water switch that you mentioned. Has almost done it, but still, his opponent up to fortress, and by the looks of it, queuing the industrial age. Holy crap! Wow, like even forcing this water back, his opponent has one hell of a tech advantage.
You know what else I love about this game is that there have been 4 hussars trained in 14 and a half plus minutes. And there have been 4 military units trained, and they're 4 hussars, and they're completely irrelevant in the game. Like, they're just standing, like, in random spots. They're, like, not even playing the game. And oh, here comes another frigate for Kynesie.
Another frigate, and that's going to shut down the water presence, I would imagine. This thing,
Santiago.
And with the supporting caravel, and I mean, it's not like Give You Anxiety can get any closer with the town center, but there's only a limited amount of fish in this small area. So if Give You Anxiety can keep up the water, maybe it will shut down that section of the economy. But being industrial, we'll see factories coming out, access to heavy cannons, and the game at that point is going to be very, very tough for somebody in the colonial age to deal with.
Yeah, fortunately, Give You Anxiety is aging. He's a quarter of the way up.
Yeah.
He's probably aging with the politician that's going to give him. Yeah, he's aging with Admiral of the Ocean Sea, so he is going to get 400 wood and an additional caravel, which obviously is going to be very powered up. He's getting upgrades from his dock to improve his fishing or his boats even more. So he's getting the important upgrades. But as you mentioned, the thing that really is going to concern me is now Kynesie is in the industrial age. He is going to have factories. He's going to start to get a land presence building up. Plus, we have to consider the fact there's going to be things like Jeanettes on the field. And, when all those things start coming into effect, maybe Kynesie doesn't need to worry about the water as much anymore. Maybe he can just start transitioning more into a land-based play and just power away on 4 TCs with heavy cannons and super upgraded dragoons as well.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing, right? Because at the moment the scores are barely even. Kynesie actually still ahead, and I just don't know what you do against. As soon as these factories get up, that's a huge eco boost. Or even if the heavy cannons, which is perhaps quite 2 heavy cannon shipment now here. And I think that's absolutely the right decision. This completely shut down Give You Anxiety's ability to fight on water. because heavy cannons have times 200 damage times 3 versus boats. It looks like Kynesie has fully taken back the water. This outpost denied, and at this point, what can you seriously do? And full access to all the food here, and factories to come out next, and heavy cannons to follow from the factories.
Like, the one extra good card the Brits has in this matchup over ports is that offshore support card, which GiveUAnxiety has sent. It makes your buildings more effective at fighting against water. But now that the heavy cannon...
Oh, here we go, 5 hussars! But there is a caravel nearby.
Yeah, they can just pop in there.
Dump them in there. Oh, wow. That's that could have been quite the steal. But 3 culverins in queue by the looks of it for GiveUAnxiety. That's a lot of culverins. I'm not sure if you need... Well, 3 is definitely going to take out these heavy cannons. Actually, the culverins could help regain back the water presence. Wow, if he can snipe those cannons effectively, he's still in it.
Yeah, I hope this game all we see is cannons and warships. Like, and those are the only units that need to be made this game. Cannons and warships. My life would be complete.
Oh wow, we do, however, have a raid going on down here. Cheeky raid, but there's enough villagers there to just hand combat that down, no problem. But is he gonna get the villager kill him before it dies? Oh no, 6 HP.
But there's at least one more hussar over here that he knows the Kynesie. Yeah, okay, and he noticed it right away. So
he's got all of these as well. But he's going to head back inside the walls. Actually, shutting down the coin. Though there is one fairly close to this town center, but has got the cavalry presence and doing some raiding here. The only resources left behind Kynesie's wall is wood, and he's now transitioning onto mills, which is by no means efficient. But at this point, look at already got the Jeanette upgrade there, and that's a lot of dragoons. And he's got Genitors sent as well.
Yeah, and GiveUAnxiety has sent naval gunners and 1 frigate as his next 2 cards. So GiveUAnxiety continuing this water presence. He may just end up winning water, but at what cost? I mean, is there going to be a situation where having water is relevant? Look at how many resources he's resunk into having, control of the water.
He needed to have control of the water earlier. He's going to get it, but he spent so much getting it back after having, pretty much lost it.
Yeah, look at these, and look at the Jeanettes. Like, the Jeanettes are starting to just run amok now here of Ezekiel.
What do you even do against that? Like, you make longbowmen, I guess, but...
Or else you need to be so far ahead that you can just outmass him with your own dragoons and just have 1 million dragoons. But I mean, he's not in the position where that's going to happen either, right? I don't know. It's just really tough at this situation. Like, he's pushed back off the water. Yeah, Knesie's not gathering on the water, but Kynesie doesn't really need to gather on the water anymore. He's in the next age. He's got Jeanette dragoons. He's got
heavy cannons galore.
Heavy cannons.
He's got a source of food. 2 mills already up. He's completely he's golden right now, water or not.
And I think GiveUAnxiety is slowly realizing this. The more that he gets pushed around by these Jeanettes, the more he's realizing, hey, I need to have some sort of a land force too. It's all well and good that I'm fighting on water here and slowly pushing him off water, or at least slowly making his water a moot point, but in the same vein, now I'm starting to really fall behind on land, and that's shown in the score. I mean, Kynesie powering up to 400 points. I would have to assume we'll see a factory yet. There comes the factory as his next card.
It has just arrived, yeah.
Yeah, and then now at this point, what do you do? How do you turn off that factory? He doesn't have enough land forces to go in there and start challenging Kynesie's land infrastructure. Certainly not this wall and all these town centers that are still left alive. And he's got good map control. That's one thing he does have, but with the dragoons running around,
I think Kynesie able to contest that and sort of capture it back.
Yeah.
By the looks of it, though, this fight, by the looks of it, has what he needs to or does he? I guess being Jeanette dragoons, this is still a tough fight. 2 heavy cannons joining the fray, though, and those culverins, by the looks of it, getting dispatched fairly quickly. That last one about to go down.
And just look at
dear.
the stats on the Jeanettes. 320 HP and 37 ranged attack versus 26 ranged attack and 240 HP. They're just so much stronger than their British counterparts at this point in the game. And I don't know, GiveUAnxiety needs to try and get aged up and get like double the amount of Dragoons out, and that's just not happening. That's not happening anytime soon. And add into that fact,
Kynesie's taking back the war, I think.
Yeah, and add into that fact, maybe even more so, there's only one coin mine really remaining.
Yeah, and already built a plantation.
Yeah, and GiveUAnxiety really can't challenge that location, which is what he really needs to do. So things looking grim.
Oh, it could have shaped out to be so different. Oh, that was so cool though. The early water.
Yeah,
definitely. But here he comes with the. Perhaps he can snipe down these cannons. No, he knows he's going to get punished if he focuses the cannon there. Doesn't get the cheeky volley off. Would have been punished by Kyenesie's massive dragoons. And now, by the looks of it, Kynesie can just push. Has the presence to do that. I would imagine reinforcing dragoons in queue. No, not actually there, but has the resources to do that. And
he's
2 heavy
got
cannons
is as well.
Yeah, very tough to kill. 2 factories. Wow.
Yeah.
Fully transitioned by the looks of it. 4 mills, 1 plantation.
So this is where we play the Age of Empires 3 trivia game, where we try and guess what's in the Shaolin temple that Kynesie has identified that he needs.
I'm not sure what it is. I know you get Rat and Shield, and they're really good once you get the upgrades.
Yeah, but he's not making it for ration shields, obviously. Like, there's some upgrade that he wants.
I guess we're not going to find it.
The world will never
There
know.
we go. Game number 1 taken by Kynesie. Well, that's frustrating. GG.
Yeah.
What a game! Holy crap. That was really fun.
If all the rest of the games are like this, my life will be complete.
Yeah.
I'll be a happy camper.
Yeah, I knew my strat this time. Yeah, the only thing, I don't know, I mean, I do feel as if Kynesie did disconnect, and that is, wholly the truth, but he did see the 2 caravels in the previous game arrive as the first shipment in the colonial age, or maybe the second, I can't, well, he saw the early caravels, and that's the point, and instead of sending 700 coin and going up straight away to the fortress age, he actually delayed the coin a bit longer and sent the caravels. If that was, a direct result of having played the same matchup and the same map again, who knows? But certainly, Kynesie picking up the victory overall after a fairly long 23-minute game. Actually, it's not really that long, but definitely a fun one.
Yeah, it's not that long when you consider like that both players were like heavy on water and in Age 4 and stuff like that. Like, but as we also mentioned, basically all of the resources went into fighting water for the first 20 minutes of the game. I mean, realistically, Kynesie didn't make land units until he was in Age 4 and made heavy cannons and Jeanette dragoons. Like,
that was so cool, though. Yeah. Let's head on out, though. First game does go to GiveUAnxiety to Kynesie.